Okay, so let's get that data. Let's get that data. Let's get that data from where you saved it. So you go to import data, or you go to get data. So get to import data, but let's use get data. Let's use get data. So you go to this part here, go to this part here, then you say get data. Then you say get data. So where is the source of your data? Whatever we have is in Excel format. So we look for that Excel file where you saved it. So you pick it. And remember, we are not going to transform it. There are some adjustments which we are going to do, but after bringing in our data. So what you do, get data, what is the source? Excel workbook. So you go to that, then it will keep on loading. It will keep on loading to take you to the folders which you have. And I believe we all know where we saved our information or that data set. Mine will be a little bit slow based on the capacity of my computer, and I have Zoom and this software at the same time. So it will make mine to delay, but I believe you will bear with me. So at this point here, let's get to where you saved your data. For my case, mine is here. Mine is here, that's where I get it. Then I open that data. So I believe we are all moving together. We are all taking that step. We are all taking that step. So it will be loading that information. I believe it is doing so. Yes, so we are connecting it now. We are connecting it now. We are connecting it now. If you check what I have still, if you check what I have, so this is the information which we have been given. This is the information. We have input data. So we have date, product ID, quantity, sale type, payment mode, discount. Then if I check here, I have master data. Master data here is where I have the product ID, product category, UOM, buying price, and then selling price. So this is the information which I want to use. And if you check here, that is the master data and also the input data, which has got several rows in it. As you can see, the total number of rows which I have here, it is going all the way to 528. It is going all the way to 528. Pardon the steps. The step is we are uploading this data into our data set. So you just go to get data, then you go to Excel worksheet. Then you go to Excel worksheet. That's where we are. So the information which we have here is what I wanted you to see. Basically, this was my point of interest. My point of interest was this one here. We only have quantity. Then we have quantity. Then here we only have buying price per unit. We have selling price per unit. And we know very well this product ID, that is P001. If I come to this side here, P00, let's say even P042, I have 8 units. So these 8 units, I need to multiply by the buying price per unit to get the total revenue. I mean, to get the total cost. Then I also need to multiply by selling price per unit to get the total revenue. When I get the difference, I'll be able to get my net profit. So you see those missing items, the total cost of sales, the total revenue, then the difference, which would give me now net profit, is missing in these two data sets, in these two types of data. So I want to do those combinations. I want to do those combinations and get the final output. If I check this as well, I only have date here, which is giving me the month, the specific day, and the year. What if I want to get my analysis based on the year, based on the month, or even based on days of the week? That one's captured in my data set, which I have uploaded there. So those several modifications that I'm going to do to my data are possible by use of Power BI. So let's get back to the work. Let's get back to the work now. So this is what I have. Do you all have this one here? Do you have this one here at that point when you are now uploading your data? When you are loading your data, do you have this? Do you have this displayed? Do you have this displayed in your Power BI? Do we all have this displayed? Including this person who said that I should pardon Nancy. Have you been able to get it? Confirm, Nancy, if you've been able to get that concept. You just go to get data, Excel workbook, then you bring in that information, or even go to this directly. You'll still be able to get that. So Nancy, confirm if you have been able to do that. Confirm which one are you selecting. So long as you have input and master data, the two of them is still okay, the two of them, but you're going to use the first two. So I'm waiting for Nancy to confirm if she has been able to do what we are doing. John, not yet. Are you still waiting for it to load? Are you still waiting for it to load? Okay, so just give it 1 to 2 minutes to load. So once you are there, I believe everyone, the 46 of us, are all having this. So just click this, and then you click this box, the two of them. Once you click those two boxes, somewhere down there, we have that option of load. I believe we are all seeing this. So let's move to the option of load. We are now loading our data. So let me load mine. Let me load mine. Let me load mine. Let me load mine. So I think it is detecting that information. I need, if I select the 4 of them, can I delete 2? Just unselect. Just click the same point where you selected the 4. Then you will be able to unselect the 2 which you don't need. They are the same data set. So long as you have the 2 of them, that is input data and master data, you are good to go. Selecting the 4 of them, that is repetition. Is that okay, Alicia? Okay, so let me wait. They are already loaded. Okay. No problem. So you'll use the first 2. You will use the first 2. So don't worry about that. Lost. Okay. Somebody's already lost and we've not even started editing this data. What point are you not getting? What point are you not getting, Velma? Velma is already lost. Velma is at what point? At what point? Or what are you missing? I am lost. Okay. Open the document, do not know what next. We were opening the document in Excel to see what it has and what it does not have. That one I demonstrated. Then we are now loading this information into our Power BI, which you already opened 30 minutes before the class time. So you go to get data, or let me see if I can allow one person to share their screen. Do I have one person who is ready? Do I have one person who is ready who can share their screen in 1 minute time? Do I have any person who is ready and is able to share their screen in 1 minute time? Do I have one person of that kind? Any person who can share their screen in 1 minute time? So those who are not those who are lost are also not able to share their screen. Those who are lost are not able to share their screen. So I've allowed you to share your screen. I've allowed you to share your screen. Okay, so once you get to this point, I want us to be attentive to every single instruction to give, because the moment you mess up, you will not be able to get to where we are. So if you don't follow the instructions to the letter, you will be forced to go through the video later. So come and place your cursor here, then you right click. Place your cursor there, then you right click. Place your cursor there, then you right click. Once you right click, you will be able to see the first item which appears there is new measure, new column, new quick measure. I want us to move to edit query. I want us to move to edit query. This is the instruction. Right click this, and then you'll be able to get this. So you come to this point once you've uploaded the 2, right click on input data, right click on input data, then you move to edit query. So once I click that edit query, it will take me to another step, which will require a process to get back to this point again. So understand this step. So let me now click edit query. It will be taking me to another step. It will be taking me to another step. So let's give it time as you also do the same from your side. As you also do the same from your side. So once it gets to that part where I want to edit this information, this is where I am going to add columns. I am going to bring in those formulas. So let's get to that point and see. Let's get to that point and see. Let's get to that point and see. Let's get to that point and see what we are going to have. So the name of our data set is already given there. I think you can see it. Yes, so you right click, then you go to edit query. You right click, then you get to edit query. So once you pick the edit query option, it will take you to another window. It will take you to another window. And I believe all of us are now at this point. We are all now at this point. Is it? We are all now at this point. Confirm if you are with me. At this part, confirm if you are able to reach where I am. Only one person is with me. How about the remaining 45? How about the remaining 45? Not seeing any change on your screen. Okay, so somebody is not even able to see any change. Are you now able to see what I have here? I have date. The information which was this side has now been transferred to this other side. Are you not even seeing what I have on the display here is different from what I add this other side? Are those changes not visible? Are those changes not visible? Not seeing. Wow, wow, wow. Let me see. Share. Okay, so I believe you are now able to see those changes. Are you able to see my new screen? Are you able to see my new screen? Do we have the same thing? Do we have the same thing as what I have here? Perfect. Thank you for that. So once we get to this point, every single step, every single item that we are going to do, every single step, every single item we are going to do will be recorded here. Every single step, every single item we are going to do will be recorded there. So this is what we have. We now want to edit this date column. One, I want to create the month column out of this date. I want to create the year column out of this date. I want to create month out of this date. One, by use of by use of Power BI. So let's now get to that point. I simply move to add column. 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 So once I get to add column, remember this one here is having a different color from this because it is already highlighted. So once I get to add column up here, I should be moving to date. What do I want to get? I want to get a new column and it should contain months. These months, I want to get, the first one will be giving me the months in figures. Then here, the name of the month will be given in words. So I just click that one. I just click that one. And you are now able to see I have a new column for the months. I have a new column for the months. I have a new column for the months. Somebody has not understood something. Somebody has not understood something. Somebody has not understood something. So you are going to follow the same procedure to do that. But let's now get this. So the first one, I've selected the months in figures. And as you can see here, the applied steps is telling me I've inserted month. I've inserted month. So I simply have my add column here. That's the active part. I want to add the column, but now by affecting the date. So I just come and tap there. This one will be activated. I click down there. What do I want to add? I want to add the month. I just scroll my cursor down there to this month. When I stop it there, I'll be able to see all the options which I can have. Month, start of month, end of month, days in month, then name of month. So I can even create the number of days in each month. Okay, my interest here is I come to this part here, date. This is where you come to date. I want to extract month, then come here, not month in figures, but month in words. So I come down here, then name of month. Once I click that, I will be able to see a new column for the months given in words. No, it seems I am doing this alone. Can I see those who have the two steps that I have just made, bringing the months in figures and also in words? Let me see those who are with me, those who have done the two steps. Those who have done the two steps. Those who have brought in the months, both in figures and in words. I only have one person. Out of 50, I only have 3. You are letting me down. Out of 50, I only have 3 people who are following exactly what I am doing. Where are the 47? Where are the 47 of us? Where are the 47 of us? Lost. Isaac is already lost. I do not know where. Under the bus. Robert is under the bus. Done. Okay, that's good, Jay. That's good. So it is just something we are repeating. Let's do the next one. then you see what we are doing. It is the same procedure. Remember, we are still dealing with the dates. My network became a problem. I'm floating. Don't worry, we'll follow the same procedure. Is there a problem if you insert month name first? No, there is no problem. The only thing that will happen is, are you seeing the order of these columns? The first one that I brought in was the months in figures. That's why I have the months here. The first one. Then the second one, the name of the month. So that one is not an issue. We are going to do analysis. So once they appear there is no problem. That's okay. So let's now go to the next one. I have extracted month. There's somebody here with an issue, that is Lydia Wero. So what I will do, I will give these people 2 minutes to share their screen. We want to extract the year from this data set. The procedure remains the same. What's the procedure? It is already active here. So I just come to date section. What do I want to extract? I want to get year from my data set. Not end of year, not beginning of the year that starts. No, I want to get the specific year. By just doing that, I am able to see years extracted in their own column. That is my next step. And it is even indicating to me applied steps. The latest is inserted here. That is what I have done. The last one, which we are also going to use, but maybe for your practice, we can also do it. We come here to the date. We want to extract week. But before we extract week, let's pick day. So we pick day. Let's go to day. Let's go to day. Let's go to day. Under day, we are going to pick name of day. Let's get the name of these things. Name of day. So if it is Monday, that's what we want to appear in our column. So I will pick name of day there, and I have inserted it. If I come to the last column, that is the names of the days which I have there. I think you can recall this when you are doing our sum ifs or financial statements, where you are extracting the days of the week using text function. I think you can recall the text function which we used to do the same thing which we are doing here. Power BI is now giving us all this by just dialing a button. By just dialing a button, we are able to get the days of the week. Let's extract many things as possible. So let's come to this part here. We want to extract quarter. We want to extract quarter. So let's come here and extract quarter of here. Is it quarter 1? Is it quarter 2? Is it 3 or 4? So all of them, okay, I'm able to see quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. So all quarters are represented in this data set. Okay, that one is perfect. That one is perfect. I believe we are all having that. What else can we extract from this date? Let me see. Let me see what we can extract, which I have not extracted. Let's see. So we've extracted the year, month, quarter, we've extracted week. No, so day, we've extracted day in, that is the name of the day we've extracted. So that's enough. That's enough. That's what we can extract from the dates for now. I believe you've now seen how to extract this. Because you'll be given a data set, then you are told, please give us the total sales based on months. but here I only have the entire date. So how will I extract the months? Using Power BI. So somebody will automatically go and use Excel. No, whoever is giving you that task is specific that you use Power BI. And I believe we've now seen how we can use Power BI to extract the month, the day of the week, even the year from our date. That's perfect. Okay, there's something here. There's something here which we now want to do. I don't want the months to be in full. I want to pick the first 3 letters of the month. I want to pick the first 3 letters of the month. I want Jan. If it is February, I want Feb. That is what I want to do here. So what do I need to do? Let me see, somebody is saying something. My date tab has gone inactive. How do I activate it? Very well. So you did not edit. You did not place your, are you seeing this? I placed my cursor here. If I place my cursor here, this one here will change the color. So you have to place your cursor on the date column, then you will activate this. If I take my cursor to this part, still activated because this one has got numbers. But another thing, if it is not activated, ensure that you have this add column next to transform. So you click this. Remember what we are using, all these are related to things to do with column. If I get back to home, I have a different display. If I go to transform, I have a different display, but the date is here. Remember, this one here will not work for you. I have to go to add column. Then under add column, my date column is here. Then I come to this part. Is that understood, Wycliffe? Is that understood? And your date tab is now active. I believe so. So as I have just said, I don't want to get these months to be in full. I only need the first 3 letters of the month. What do? I come and click that tab. Move to extract. What do I want to extract? Out of that entire word, I only need the first 3 letters. So I come to first characters. First characters, give it time. First characters, it will bring for me a tab, a small tab there. How many letters do I need? How many characters do I need? I only need 3. So I type 3 there. And then say, okay. I type 3 there, then say, okay. What have I done? I have now extracted the first 3 characters of the month column. So I have them now: Jan, Feb, May, July, Dec, June. I think you are now able to see I've been able to extract them. I have been able to extract them. Can we use that in Excel to extract? Yes, we can do that in Excel. We can perfectly do this in Excel. Can we use that? Okay, repeat that. What do we repeat here now? You come to the month column, click there, Then you go to this part, extract. What are we extracting? The first characters. You click that, then it brings you a display where you type the number of characters. How many characters do you need? 3. That's what you type there. That's what you type there. Then you say okay, and then you'll be able to see it displaying the month in abbreviated form. What is delimiters? Those are the things that are used to separate words. Let's, for example, if you are writing 3 names, you are having a space between the names. Some people may use comma in a data set. So comma is a delimiter. Space is also there, double colon for some cases. Okay, you will also understand it perfectly when we'll be correcting a messed up data. You are given an information without the distinction between the first name and the second name, or whatever should be this column. Whatever separates them is only a comma or a space. Then you are told to put it in the correct format. Okay, undo is here. Are you able to see this one here, the applied steps? The applied steps, when I click here next to it, I have an option of undoing that. So if I undo whatever I added there, that is abbreviating the month, I've now displaced it. I've now displaced the abbreviated months. That's how you undo. I think you've been able to see this. That's how we undo those steps. Okay, so thank you for inquiring about that. Let's now move to the next step. And I believe we are all together. Everyone has understood what we are doing there. So when we now move to the next step, I expect us to move together. So let's now move. Our next step is this. Remember, we have not used the other data set. You still recall the other data set which we had? That is master data. We have not used it. We want to bring it here. I think you can recall the VLOOKUP, whereby we were looking for the identity key. You can recall the VLOOKUP, whereby we were looking for the identity key. Then we extracted information using that identity key. It has now followed us up to Power BI. And to make things worse, it is now even having a different information. The only thing we are looking for is that identity key. Then you want to combine this data set, input and master data. You want to bring them together. How are we going to do this? Somebody is already worried somewhere. How is that possible with this kind of information? Somebody's lost on month generation, which I think we've done. So if you are at this point, place your cursor here. Get to data. Come to month. Do you want it in figures or in words? If it is in words, name of month. Just click that and you'll be able to generate the month. I believe that is perfectly explained, Nyakundi. Okay, so our next step is to now combine these data sets. What are we going to do? We now get to home. And then somewhere here, there's this icon of combine. somewhere here we have this icon of combine. This icon of combine contains two. We can combine data in a way that whatever we have here is the same as what is in the other data sets. For example, if I have sales for different months, so this one here is for the month of January, this one February, March, April, up to December. The same column, the same titles are given, so I can combine those data sets. That's what we call now append. It means I just bring them. Once I reach the last point of this first data set, I append the other one. So that's what we call appending the data. That's one method of combining. And then another method is to merge. So when we merge data, it is now a real application of the VLOOKUP which we are doing. We look for the identity key. Then that identity key will help us to trace these data sets. How are we going to combine this data? We are going to combine them by depending on one of the items which is found in this first data set and also in the second data set. What do I have in my first data set? I have product ID. In the second data set, as we are going to look at it, I also have product ID. So that is my identity key. If in the case of doing bank reconciliation, I have the check number, which maybe that's what I am using to record my transaction in the cash book. And then also in the bank account, they also use the check number. Or in my cash book, I am using transaction number. In the bank, they also use the same transaction number for similar or exact transactions. So those are the identity keys we are referring to. Now, I have said our identity key is the product ID. And which kind of combination are we going to use here? Whatever I have in master data is different from what I have in input data. The only thing they are sharing is product ID. So before I take you to that part, this is what I'm referring to. I want us to see it practically so that when we now start doing the data, you understand it. Let me share my screen. I believe it is visible. So here I have the date, that is the input data. I have date, product ID, quantity, sale type, payment mode, discounts in percentage. When I now come to master data, I have product ID, now product name, category, UOM, buying price, selling price. As you can see, all these things are different. All these things are different. The only thing that is found here and also found in the other data set is the product ID. The only thing that I have there is the product ID. So this product ID, which is shared by these two different data sets, is what will now help me determine the kind of combination that I'm going to use. And from here, I want somebody to help me identify the kind of combination I am going to use based on the explanation that I've just given. Are we going to merge or to append these two data sets? Are we going to merge or append? Are we going to merge or append our data sets? Yes, so Lawrence is telling me to merge. The latter append, merge. Okay. Merge as we have product ID in both. Thank you. We are going to merge this data because the only thing they are sharing is the product ID. And another thing, if you check here, the master data is only 46 rows, but input data is up to 528 row. So it means this one is more than the other. And that one tells us that these products here, there is one that is appearing more than once. There is one that's appearing more than once. So for us to take care of that, we are now going to do what we call merge this data. We are going to merge this data. So let's now get to our Power BI. Let's now get to our Power BI. Let's now get to our Power BI and see how we are going to merge this data. So I will come here to, so when do we use append? We are going to use append when we have similar columns, similar data sets. So for example, whatever I have here, this input data is repeated in 4 or 5 different worksheets. The only thing that will be different is maybe the quantity and date, but these other items remains the same. The title is product ID, date, quantity, cell type, everything is the same actually. All the titles are the same. That's when we append. And for the append, we are going to do it in Power Query, which is now the other version of Power BI in Excel. So let's now get to this part here. So I will come to combine. I will come to combine. And I have said we are going to do what we call merge. So we are going to merge. We are going to merge. So you click merge. Our first data is already here. This is what we want to add something to. So the next one, which we want to use, this is now where we are selecting the master data. We are now combining the two data sets. So I am going to take master data, and then I will be able to see its columns here. I'll be able to see its columns here. So it has got product ID, product category, UOM, buying price, and then selling price. What I have here is only product ID, which is the same. The remaining things are totally different. So the only thing that will help me link these two things is the product ID, which is appearing in both sides. So I will click this product ID, then click the other product ID. I click the first one here. I click the first one, and then I click the second one. So that's the two items which they are sharing. They are sharing product ID in input data and also product ID in the master data. That is what we are going to use. So don't click more than one. You have to just pick the first one. So when do we use append? Okay, that one I think I have explained. So once we have these two, what do? We have the option of, okay, how do you drag master data? I've not dragged master data. No, there's this box here. There's this box here somewhere there. If you click that box, we'll be able to see those two data sets, of which it will be telling you that input data is the current one. So the other one which I've not taken is the master data. I'm taking it there. Then you click the IDs. Then I say, okay. So the selection matches 527 or 527 rows from the first table. Then I say, okay. So I will give it time to transform my data. I will give it time to transform my data. I will give it time to transform my data. And before I take you to any other step which you must be keen while doing, confirm to me that you are able to see something of this kind. Confirm to me that you are able to see something of this kind. Confirm to me that you are able to see something of this kind. Confirm. Confirm to me if you're able to see something of that kind. I believe today is the perfect class because I can see majority are perfectly following what we are doing. Okay, that's great. So once you get to this point, are you able to see the two arrows pointing the opposite directions? We want to click there and see what will happen. So it is loading to us what we have there. And remember, at this point here, we want to now remove the similar items which were appearing in both tables. This product ID is already in our initial data set, so we don't need to bring it again. And therefore, that product ID will be unticked. It is already found. It is already there in our input data, the first data set. It is also found in master data. It has been used to help us trace the information which we are bringing in here. So once we use it up to that point, we don't need it again. We don't need two product ID columns. We only have one, which is enough. Why are we not unmarking these other ones? Because they were only found in the other data set. They were not found in our input data. No, they were only appearing in master data. So that's why we must ensure that they are maintained. Once we unmark the product ID, then you say, okay. Then you say, okay. Then you say, okay. Wow. So what is the steps, or what are the steps now? You can even see here, I merged queries. I've now expanded master data. I've brought it here. So just see what I have. The input data set was only having, these are the things that were there. Let me share with you. Then we get this practically. We get this practically. If you look at our input data, we only add how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did we do? We splitted this date into how many columns? That is month, in figures, in words. We got quarters, we got year, and we got day. Those are 5 additional columns. And then master data is also giving us how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We eliminated this because it is already appearing here. So we have not brought it again. That one will lead to duplication, and therefore we removed it. So it is only this one which is appearing there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the new 5 which we've added, that's 10. And we add to the original ones which are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have a total of 16 columns in the new data set. Let's see if that's what we have. Let's see if that's what we have. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. So we now have a new data set that contains everything which we need. We've merged the two data sets. We've come up with new columns. We are now having our complete data set. But there are some things which we are still not having here. There are some things which we are still not having here. What are these things which we are still lacking? What are these things which we are still lacking? We are still lacking the gross profit or the total sales column. We are still lacking the total sales column. We are still lacking the total sales column. So what do we need to do? We come to this part here. We come to this part here. We need to have a new column. We need to have a new column and then create a formula in that column. We need to have a new column, and then in that column, we need to create a formula. So before I create any formula, let me see those who are confirming that at least they have learned something before we create a formula to get. Okay, so I believe everyone is okay. Now that we have done those adjustments, this is what we need to do. We will come to this part here. We say close and apply. We'll come to close and apply. That's where we are heading to. So just click, go to file, then below it we have, go to home, then below file there we have close and apply. So you click that to allow it now make those adjustments to your data set. So let me give it time to do that for me. I believe you're also doing the same from your side. Close and apply. Close and apply. Somebody has not understood. Close and apply. That is to say, you go to home, still where we were, then below file there next to home, you have close and apply. So you click close and apply. Then it will take you to a new part of the same data set. It will take you to a new part of the same data set. It will take you to a new part of the same data set. Close and apply. Close and apply. So that's where we are. So allow it to load. Allow it to load. Allow it to load. allow it to load. So it is still loading. As it loads, let me see what is being said in the chat here. As it loads, let me see what is being said here. Do I have any question? Do I have any concern? Mine too has disappeared. You are not sharing your screen. Yes, once it starts loading that way, it will make the screen to disappear. But I believe we are doing, no, everything is not lost. It is still loading. Just give it time. Just give it time to load it. Just give it time. Yes, yes, that's what has happened. That's what has happened. So don't be worried. Don't be worried. Don't be worried about that. Don't be worried about that. It is still okay. And mine is still loading. So let me just give it time. Let me just give it time. I believe it will stop loading. Yes, it is almost there. It is almost there. If it has disappeared, don't be worried. Don't be worried. It is still loading that information. It is still loading that information. So just give it time. Just give it time. It is still loading that information. Okay, total sales, that's what you want to do. That is what you want to do once we complete this. So don't worry. Once it completes loading, we'll now get to getting total sales. So let me allow mine to still load. Let me allow mine to continue loading. So once that is complete, you want to bring in now the total sales. You want to bring in the total sales, and this is what we are going to do. So as you can see, I have here, I don't have table tools. It must be there. It must be there. It must be there. If you try clicking one of these data sets, that is the input data, it will bring you to these table tools. Just come here, try clicking one of them, and you'll be able to see that table tools appearing. Please explain the steps after merging. The steps after merging, I think we said close and apply. Once you do that, you allow it to load, then it gets to this part. Once it gets to this part, you will be able to see the two data sets. This one here has got those information which we added. So we just try clicking it to edit, to make it active. Then it will bring to us table tools. Once we see the table tools, that's what I'm explaining. Well done, kindly consider time. Okay, but we have to complete this remaining part. Then we go to new column. So when you click new column, this is what we are going to have. When you click new column, this is what we are going to have. So when you click on new column, it brings to us this. It brings to us this. Let me give it time. It should give me a space where I am typing this information. So I want to use that new column to create my formula. So the column has already appeared. As you can see, it has appeared here. It has appeared there. Let it load for some minutes. It has appeared for some minute. Let me give it time. Do I have that new column here? My new column has disappeared. So let me create one here. Let me create a new column before we summarize. So it is already edited. This is what I have. This is what I have. So as you can see, it is just called column. And I want to give it a name. So what is the name of my column? What is the name of my column? I am going to call it gross sales or total sales. Let's call it total sales. Let's call it total sales. Let's call it total sales. And total sales is equal to, this is what we are going to do. We have two types of data set. The first one is input data. The second one is master data. So I want to get a column here in the input data because I've now combined all of them. I want to get a column in the input data. So I just type input. Just type input and you'll be able to see it bringing to me all the columns in my input data. What do I want to do? I want to take the units sold multiplied by the selling price. So units unit sold was under quantity. So let me look for it. That is quantity. So I click that. And what am I going to do? I am going to multiply the units by, or the quantity by selling price. So I will say input. It will bring for me input. And remember, I'm going to pick that column which I brought or I took from the master data. So it is found in the input data from master data and selling price, which is this one here. Once I do that, I enter. So let's enter and see. Let's enter and see. I now have a new column. I think you are able to see it down here. Total sales. I have total sales column already created here. This software is working magic. I now have total sales. Am I able to get cost of goods sold? Yes. I just bring in a new column. So table tools here, I bring in a new column. Let me bring in a new column and now get goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Somebody's lost. You will follow this video. It will be of help to you. So I want to get cost of goods sold. How do I get cost of goods sold? I'll be taking the units multiplied by buying price. So I will say input, that is the original name of my data, but then I want quantity. So I want input data quantity, and I'm going to multiply it by buying price. So it is input from the other worksheet. That is input master data, then buying price, which is this. When I do that and enter, I'll be able to get a new column, which is called cost of goods. Do I have cost of goods somewhere already created? Let me give it time. Let me give it time. Where does the table tools come from? Table tools is coming from this part. Once you get to this area, you must click the first one here, input. Just click it to make it active. Just click it to make it active. So I already have cost of goods created. That's perfect. When I have cost of goods and also I have sales or total sales, I can get gross profit. 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 So let me see. So gross profits. Gross profit is equal to total sales, which is now input, input, then I look for total sales. They are now part of my data. I can even find them here. Remember, these ones were not there. I've created them. Total sales minus input data, then cost of goods. Then I enter. Wow, so I already have gross profit here. Once I am done with that, I can now start doing my analysis. I can now start bringing in the graphs which we were bringing there. I want to work with this. I want to work with this data set now. I created month, I created day of the week. I want to get my gross profit based on the days of the week. So I want to now start doing my analysis. So I have it there. Then I want to get gross profit. I want to get my gross profit here. I want to get my gross profit based on days of the week, which we said there was day name. So I want to distribute gross profit based on day name. My data does not have quantity. It is there. It has quantity. It is there. It is there. It is there. It is there. So if I do it that way, this is what I have. I have days of the week and gross profit. I want us to get only the new ones which we created. I can even say, okay, let all of this be in page 1. So I will go to page 2, still working on the same data. I want to come up with, let's say, a pie chart for the so in page 2, I want to come up with a matrix. This matrix is going to be for the total sales, which was not even there. I want to get the total sales based on month and day of the week. So I will bring in month first, month name. I will bring in month name. I will bring in month name, then get days of the week, day name. I get month and day name. Once I do that, I want to get now total sales based on this. So I want to distribute total sales. Total sales is what I want to distribute based on those facts. Wow, so my data is already complete. Of course, I can expand it. I can expand it to get other information. I can expand it to get other information. Let me just see if I can filter it up there. So let me expand it to get what I need. Yes. So I have month, name here. Then I have days of the week. So I have distributed my total sales by month and day of the week. So all those that were done on Fridays is giving us a total of 56. But those done in the month of April, I have a total of 26,579. I'm now able to do analysis using things that were not even given in my data set. And that's what we call analysis. Let me look for something here that we can use to get a pie chart. So this one here is complete now. We can go to page 3. We can go to page 3, which I think is the last one based on time. Based on time, we were not supposed to leave it without even trying to do even one analysis. So let's just do the last one, then we end this. So we are going to do now a pie chart. Let's do a pie chart and check on quarters. Yes, we want to get cost of goods. We want to use cost of goods using quarters. We want to distribute cost of goods based on quarters. So we bring quarters here. We bring quarters here, then distribute the cost of goods. So let me look for the cost of goods. Yes, so I have it here. I want to distribute cost of goods based on quarters. And that is what I have. That is what I have. So quarters here, it is giving me the sum, of which should not be the case. I want to get quarters here, not being in the same place. Yes. So how many quarters do we have? We have 4 quarters. And that is the distribution of these quarters here. That is the distribution of those quarters. So I have the percentages. Now export this to PDF. Export this to PDF. So we want to export this data to PDF. We want to export this data to PDF. We want to export this data to PDF. Okay, we are just ending. We are ending. I think there is no new concept we are adding. We are just trying to save our data. We are now just saving this data. We are just saving it, so don't be worried. Let's just save this. Let's save this one here. Okay, so whatever is remaining is just to save it, and then you can also save what you have there in that same format for your reference. You can save it in the same format I think in a different format. That is the format for Power BI for your revision, maybe during your free time. So that's what we are supposed to do in Power BI. Anything else, you will find them in the video. And since there is no new concept that we are going to cover again, we can now stop this class. You are now free to leave as I save my information. As I save my information here, you are free to leave. The final part is just to save these informations which we created. So you can save them, then log out. Thanks for your time. Have a blessed night, and let's meet next week for Power Query. Thanks for your time, and let's meet next week for Power Query.
Sasa nimekuja jipange na naenda kuzini